Sorry guys, if you haven't been following Star Wars Rebels, you need to get on that as well because it's on Disney DXD. It's such a wonderful show. Now, just to give you a little history, if you haven't seen my other reviews from the beginning, I wasn't the biggest fan of pretty much animation Star Wars shows. I mean, Clone Wars, I was like, for the longest time, I didn't want to watch it. I was like, I heard great things about it, but maybe because I didn't want to watch it because it starred Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it's set in the Clone Wars and prequels, and it's like, oh yeah. But I did watch a little bit of it on Netflix, and I've watched the bonus ones, the never airing ones. I believe that the newest releases that they had on there with Yoda visiting the Jedi Temple, as well as Anakin, like that final episode where you knew Anakin was, a little caught up into the dark side. Yoda kind of seeing all these old masters, and Bane, Darth Bane was in there. I believe one of the schmoes loves Darth Bane. Excuse me. I absolutely did. I really did enjoy Clone Wars, though. I started watching the first season, and I've seen episodes here and there throughout. I think it's a pretty good show. I was actually surprised. So I know who Ahsoka is. I know Anakin's storyline. I know the movie. The movie was. I haven't seen it, but I heard it was terrible. But I know the Clone Wars. I've seen some of it, maybe half of it, of the Clone Wars, because I gotta definitely finish watching all of it. But it's a great show. I couldn't believe that I actually enjoyed the show. So when this Star Wars Rebels was announced, I was like, okay, what is it? It's animation. Okay. Is it the cartoon that we're getting from the Clone Wars? Because there was a cartoon movie as well where they had where we get introduced by General Grievous, and you find out why he has that, the dark side. You find out. It's been so long. I actually have the DVD of that, and Yoda kicks ass in that cartoon movie. It's like a movie, like it is a movie. It's a cartoon. It's cartoon animation. But now they relied on computer animation like the Clone Wars, and I was just like, I don't really, not feeling the designs, this and that. But watching the show, I gotta say, man, in Comic-Con, not very interested. I should have been, right in that panel at Comic-Con if I would have knew that this show was going to be amazing. This show has everything you want. Writing, if you really want writing, if you really want setups, if you really want callbacks, if you really want foreshadowing, a little bit, of cameos here and there. Just smart writing as well. If you want characters that you're going to care about, this show has that writing for you. And also the writing always has these characters doing something, or you're learning more about the characters along the way. And the music, get out of here. The music is always fantastic. I always love hearing the Star Wars soundtrack. It's so great. John Williams, man, that dude, I can't wait to hear his new music for Star Wars Episode 7. But the music on here harkens back and really relies on some of the old trilogy type feel to it. Like, you get the old trilogy music, like, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, the evil and then the light. I mean, it really just mixes so well with these characters in their environment, because we are taking place before before the New Hope and after Revenge of the Sith. It's right in the middle, and you feel that way. You feel like Luke. We're not getting into Luke's story yet, and I would really, really, very, very love to see these characters somehow pop up in the films, or some type of mentioning of anything. Because Kanan, I know Kanan already has a comic book line in there, and Kanan, this character, at first, you didn't really get too much out of his character in the very beginning. Maybe you just, knew that he was the captain of the ghost ship. You knew something was mysterious about him. It was kind of obvious that he wasn't like a Jedi, but it was great to he was always relying on his blaster, this and that. Kanan just really, and he's kind of addicted to Ezra. But as the series progressed, man, I really started liking this character, because as he grows with Ezra throughout this series, you grow with him as a character, because you start feeling for him when he starts feeling emotions towards this kid, Ezra, and you see the love he has for his crew and pretty much his faults. Like, he feels he ran from his master when it was revealed in the season finale when the Inquisitor was interrogating him. He just ran. He didn't sit there and die a true, warrior's death. His master said, run, and that's exactly what he did. So I mean, Kanan is he really just he really did win me over towards the very end, and he is a great character. I love his relationship with Hera as well. That is definitely a major plus for this show. I absolutely love Hera. Hera is definitely that mother type figure in the ghost ship. She really does talk to Ezra, as Ezra's, new to the ship, new to the crew. I really like her role. I mean, we've seen it all before, right? We've seen the mother figure, the motherly figure, and Ezra, as we know, doesn't have any parents. That's the big question, too. Is Ezra's parents alive? Are they dead? I'm assuming that maybe one of them made it out, but we still haven't solved that big mystery if Ezra's parents. It's been hinted that maybe they're gone, that they're not, present, but you never know. You never know what curveballs are going to be thrown in the next season. Now, Ezra and, like I said, Ezra and Hera has that close bond, that great relationship, and Hera and Kanan probably known each other since he was a Jedi. I don't know if there's a romantic thing there. It seems like it, especially since the last episode. But it's great to have their camaraderie and those two being like the father and mother figure of the ship. And of course, Zev, my man Zev. He's a funny, snarky kind of. I want to say creature. I'm gonna say character. He's definitely one. I really like Zev, especially him and Ezra. How they first really hated each other, but now they're most likely. They remind me of kind of like brothers. They're always picking on each other. Really like this character. I mean, it doesn't seem like he hasn't really had too much of a spotlight in the last, maybe second half of Star Wars Rebels. But hopefully they give him a little bit more backstory, a little bit more. We get more in depth of Zev, and hopefully he, they give him a nice juicy storyline because we haven't seen one like that. We've seen maybe when he lost to that one Empire guy, and he was really, bent out of shape about it. But he hasn't really been spotlighted in the last half of Star Wars Rebels, but hopefully in season 2 he does, but he's a great side character, so to speak, and he's a great addition to the Ghost crew. And then Sabine, I love Sabine with Hera. Hera out of the female Ghost crew. Maybe Hera. Oh man, that one's a hard one. Overall character though, I think I really love Sabine out of all the characters as well. She has to be up there. She has to be up there in the top 3 because she's really, really great. I like her basically bounty hunter type suit, her colorful kind of suit. I said stormtrooper suit, and I was dead wrong. My bad. My brain was stuck on stupid. Well, she's wearing a bounty hunter type, Boba Fett type bounty hunter type suit, and I really like the colors that they use for her character. I really like her. Just her overall, she's a very colorful person. Look at her hair. And she's an artiste. And her explosiveness, like literally explosives that she does, it's really great. She definitely is that, go-to person when they're in a jam. I think Sabine is definitely a vital character of the show. And I would also, just like Zeph, like a little bit more spotlight on Sabine and her hearing kind of her backstory. And, getting more of that relationship between Sabine and Ezra, because Ezra definitely has a crush on her. I like a little romance, in my shows. You need that romance. You need that little romance to, it's natural. So I would like to see Ezra and Sabine's relationship take it a little step further. Not a step further, but maybe advance a little bit more, because we haven't overall seen that much of that relationship really grow. We've seen Zeph and Ezra's relationship grow more than Sabine's and Ezra's. But Sabine did have that nice heart-to-heart talk with Ezra when they found the communication place, the underground communication that Ezra's parents was doing. So Sabine is definitely one of the top characters on my list. I think she's really, really awesome, and I can't wait to see what they do on season 2. I'm assuming they are going to tell the backstory of her a little bit more, because there is a backstory. There is a story before she got into Ghost Crew, and she definitely has, it seems like a very sorrowful one. So they touched on it a little bit in the beginning of the season, but really looking forward to that. And let's get to Chopper. Chopper is a badass, man. Chopper is a G. he is up there with R2-D2. I want Chopper in the J.J. Abrams. Make it happen. Whoever takes hold of these new Star Wars films, get Chopper in them. Chopper is more of a, more snarky. Oh, I said snarky. More basically just in your face, don't care than R2-D2. He'll just like, he pushed the freaking other droid out of the ship. He pushed another droid out of the ship. I was thinking, oh cool, we're gonna have 2 droids on the show. No, Chopper said, no, we're not. No, we're not. So good for Chopper. Now let's move on to Ezra. Ezra was the character design I least liked going into the show. I didn't like the design. He looked more Aladdin to me. I still think he needs to get a little bit better design, maybe a haircut so he doesn't look too much like Aladdin. Maybe that's exactly what they were going for. If you think about it, orphan, right? Pretty much on the streets, street rat, so to speak. But Ezra is definitely the most grown character out of all these characters, from being a street rat to becoming a Padawan Jedi. I want to see him really advance. I really want to see that, really him use the lights, because when Kanan was fighting the Inquisitor, and so was Ezra. Ezra wasn't really doing too much, He was there, but he has a lot to learn, and that's what's great about the show is he's going to learn more. We see little bits of his training. We see little bits of what Jedi's used to train in, like from the prequels. I really loved how he basically struggled at the Force, but then he, started to embrace it. And then throughout the show, he was using those things that he was taught, like summoning those animals to attack. I mean, this kid, I love the writing on this, because whatever Ezra has learned will be used in the future episodes. So Ezra is the most pretty much progressed character. And then he has to be. He's the protagonist. We're following his story. And it's great to see him and his family, the Ghost Crew family, him bonding with everybody, him doing anything, him going back to save Kanan no matter what was great as well. Excuse me. But yes, Ezra is he's really grown on me, especially the tragedy with his parents. We don't know if they're dead. We don't know if they're alive. That whole thing going on, and especially his friend that he was at the cadet training. I mean, he's pretty much, that's crazy. The cadet, I forgot his name. The cadet in the when he was with, who was giving him intel. That's an interesting relationship. Ezra has a lot of interesting relationships throughout the show, so it's going to be very interesting what happens in season 2. Now let's go to season 2. What I think is going to happen. We got that great reveal of Darth Vader and also Ahsoka, and I think Ahsoka. I haven't read too much on it. Hopefully she is. I believe the first episode of season 2. Somebody told me on Amino. Who was it? Sorry, man. I will give you a shout out on my next review. He told me that basically the first episode of season 2 will be hitting in Star Wars Celebration, which I will be attending in Star Wars Celebration in April 16th on a Thursday. One day only. You can only get one day because I gotta work. But Darth Vader being the villain, hopefully the villain of the show. It looks like he is going to be great. I mean, why not? Why not have Darth Vader go after these people? Throughout the show, I was thinking, when are we going to see Darth Vader pop up? Because this Ghost Crew is really being a pain in the ass to the Empire. So that's going to be great. Ahsoka, man, the connection between the Clone Wars. That is amazing. That's awesome. That makes me now have to finish the Clone Wars TV show. Ahsoka definitely is a fan favorite. It's going to be great. Hopefully she is the new addition of the Ghost Crew. I haven't read too much on it. Hopefully she is part of that crew. I believe so. So think of all the stories she's going to be telling the Ghost Crew of the past, of who Darth Vader. Maybe she does know who Darth Vader is. Maybe she knows it is Anakin. She has to know it's Anakin, right? So who knows? I mean, Ahsoka is a Jedi that was not there when the Jedi Order 6 these six happen. I mean, this is great. This is so great for the TV show. This is great for the fans who are now you're going to have more people jump on it once they know this character. If they weren't already, know this character is on the show, want to see what's going on. And Ahsoka and Kanan. That's going to be some badass tag team.